Hey there, guys. It's me, Levi. I wanted to do like a quick video on what has been going on with, life, and also maybe introduce a little bit of a VR. First time doing a VR, not necessarily with any rules, just a fun VR. So I don't know what I'm gonna do first. Quick catch up, maybe. I've been super busy working on. Let me grab it. Working on the Kickstarter for my Oracle deck. This is the prototype box. And these are the prototype cards, so they do not reflect the final product at all, but I am going forward with this as a Kickstarter. I did shop this around to several publishers who were not interested at the time, which is completely fine, but I do feel like this is my favorite deck I've ever made, the product with the strongest concept behind it. I've done multiple decks and I never felt inspired to write a guidebook, and I wrote like 100+ pages guidebook for this already. And this is going to go on Kickstarter. It's not going to take long, not at all. I'm already in talks with the printers to get a quote. All the designs are done. The box design is practically done. The guidebook is practically done. So yeah, this is going to be a thing if the Kickstarter goes through, and I really hope it does, because this is something that is really special to me and that I've worked my ass off to create. And like, even if the Kickstarter doesn't go through, I could still put it on my playing cards, so this is already a thing that exists. But the thing is, it only exists in my world now, and I want it to exist in your world as well. It's a very cute, workable, usable Oracle deck that just has this really, really soft and cute vibe, which I love. It's basically based around the 4 seasons and like the cycles within nature. It has quite a masculine feel to it, yet more so that softer side of masculinity, which is very which is not shown a lot. So that's why I was kind of like, nope, we need to do this. So, we need to show the world that there's a softer side to masculinity. So for each suit in the deck, you get a deity, a crystal, a location, an animal. What am I forgetting? You get a deity, a location, a crystal, an animal. Let's see, location, animal, crystal, plant, deity. Yeah, so you get all of that, and then there's all the moon phases, and then there's special cards that have spirit guides on them. So it's a very personal deck. So these are all spirit guides that I personally feel very connected to and guided by. So it's a very personal project. This is a little box right here. This is not what the final box will look like, because this specific type of box is specifically licensed to the prototype printer, so no other printer has this box, but it will be something similar to this. So at least design-wise, it's gonna look similar. Might be a bit thicker, depending on the cardstock I go with, but just wanted to let y'all know about that. And I will let you know on here when the Kickstarter is live. Okay, enough about that. I've also been working on a tarot deck, which I have one of the designs of it on my t-shirt right here, which I love. This super gay pink angel, adore that. And now let's get to because that's, still very much in the beginning stages. Let's get to the VR that I kind of want. Hope y'all guys can do. I didn't even research if this was already a thing. Maybe it already is, and it's not my VR, then it's someone else's, whatever. But I really hope this catches on, because I'm interested. I genuinely am interested in y'all's responses. So I got this really cool book from my sister, Tarot, and other divination cards, which has all these like really cool, really vintage, like antique decks in them. And then I was also looking at another tag called My Disheveled Decks, and I don't really have disheveled decks that I myself dishevel. So I was like, I could pretend, but I'm not going to do that. But I do have some vintage decks that I feel like I want to share with y'all. So the hashtag, the tarot tag is hashtag my vintage decks. And it could be any kinds of cartomancy decks. So the first one I want to show you is kind of disheveled. It's this one. It's the Persian Tarot by Madame Indira, also called Tarot Perzan. You can still get like new copies of this. So if you're not into vintage, you can still get freshly printed new copies of this, but they only have guides in French. This is how disheveled the box is. It's completely like loose. But this one has a little white book, very classic, with English instructions, which is so cool because this is a really fun divination system. Is it a 78 card tarot deck? No. It's its complete own system, so that's really dope. So you get like all these cards. These are gold. These are gilded, by the way. It's a very special type of sort of like foil inlay, matte gold foil inlay that older decks sometimes used to have. I have another example of this. So that cards like these would be major arcana cards. They don't have the titles on them because you don't really need them per se. For example, this will be Fatma's Hand, which is all about being protected. So very cool. The peacock, which is kind of similar to the birds in the Lenormand, which is like, hey, there's like a message coming or people are talking about you, communication, yada yada. The evil witch, which I really like a lot. So those are examples of majors. This one's jealousy, the black cat or the jaguar. We have death, which in this deck literally means death because this is definitely a fortune-telling deck, right? Another really interesting suit is the suit of owls, which is sort of different to the other suits. I've heard of people reading with them as indicators of time, like let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This could be either 7 days or 7 weeks. But in the little white book, it doesn't really mention that. It mentions the owls more as, oh, I got the French side right here, which is not good. The owls are more or less, so 7 of owls, luck in a big business or deal in a big business. But together with cards from the suit of clubs, unexpected luck, with the witch and the queen of hearts, a happy marriage. So there's tons of combinations possible. They're absolutely stunning. The cards look stunning. These are in really good condition still. Look at this Wheel of Fortune, very pretty. So there's a lot of negative space. Let me show you some of the pips. Because the pips are pips. They're very pip-ish. Which, you know, if you know me, you know that I like that. Ooh, you can really see that gold foil there. The quality of the colors is absolutely stunning. You know, it's really cool. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Where are my other suits? Because we should have, yeah, these are, for example, the hearts. So those are very pippish. And then you also get like court. No, this is not a court card. This is a court card. Here you go. And then you get the court cards that are pretty much illustrated. So this is another court card. So this is a really interesting little divination system. If anybody likes this, because this is, you know, more of a talky video, I'm not going to do like a flip through and very in-depth analysis of this. But if anyone likes this or would like to work with it and is looking for English instructions, just shoot me a DM on Instagram and I can probably send you pictures of the English instructions so you can actually work with this deck because it's absolutely lovely. Look at those foil details even in the illustrations. It's really stunning, and it's It's pretty cool. This one is from what year now? Let's see. 1981. So this is a deck from the 80s. At least this printing is, but I think this was always an indie deck. And currently, I think you can only get mass market new, the version without the English instructions. I didn't pay a whole lot for this. These go for a shit ton online, which obviously I don't really like fall for. I don't like it when people like scalp me for decks online, scalpers asking outrageous prices. I don't jive well with that at all. But I got this off, we have this little Dutch version of eBay, Marktplaats, where sometimes people offer things for very little money because they don't know what they have. And, you know, I will make a nice offer, and I got this for 15 euros, which is a pretty good price considering, apart from the box, but I could easily glue that together if I wanted to, but considering the state of the product, even the state of the cards is very good. Another one, which is not the vintage edition, but it is very much a vintage deck, and a deck that I love, which is the Barbara Walker Tarot in a tin. Now, I, at one point, was actually looking for the original version because I was kind of like, ooh, no, I want to have the original. But then I found out that the original is basically similarly, like, almost similar in card size. The only thing that's actually bigger is the borders because it has 20 languages on there, you know? So this really made me feel like this tinned version was more than enough. I actually had the opportunity to get the full-size White Sage Tarot for a good price. You know, the first indie edition, and then I was kind of like, nah, I don't want that. So because, you know, like, I already have this is good enough for me. This has worked me wonders. I really like this deck. There is some behind the scenes controversy about it, which I can't tell here, but if anyone is interested, just you know where to find, you know where to slide into my DMs. But I feel like Barbara Walker did a stunning job with these cards. I think they look really good. I think you know, the paintings that were made are gorgeous, and I really like the keywords that were chosen for the miners. I'm a big fan of them. I know a lot of people hate them. I just feel like this is definitely, this is one of my all-time favorite decks, y'all. Like, it's really cool. You know, and is this officially a vintage deck? No, but I still wanted to include it because it, you know, the deck is vintage. This edition may not be, and it's, you know, you will see kind of a theme. A lot of the things that I've chosen here are from either the 70s or the 80s. So apparently I have a knack for those. The next one is one of my most prized possessions. The Art Nouveau Tarot by Matt Myers. Stunning deck. I have I keep the title card and his self-portrait separate here on the in the box because I keep the deck in another container, which I will show you in a second. This is another older deck that does have that gold foil, matte gold foil inlay on the backs. Which is really cool. This is a really neat, ornate design. I really like these older back designs because they were so simple, you know? Simple, ornate, cool. Sometimes these days, guys, all these deck designers be doing the most, and I'm like, nope. So this deck is from 1989. And it's very camp. It's very campy, which I adore. It's quite small. It's definitely, do I even have a regular size tarot deck here? No, all of them are varying sizes. But it's a lot thinner and a lot smaller than a regular tarot deck, and I wish US Games would get in touch with Matt Myers and do a tinned version of this, because this is probably one of the most interesting decks they've ever done. So you get your majors and court cards that kind of look like, you know, that kind of look like each other. Look at that sun card. This must be one of my favorite sun cards ever. So yeah, another court card, King of Cup, the King of Discs, or coins in this deck. Another major, the Hermit. But then for the minors, we get these really cool scenes, and I've never really managed to show them in succession, and I'm not going to attempt to do that now. But oh, actually, there are two in succession here. The minors look like this. They look like stained glass paintings, which kind of depict a story. If you were to lay all of these together, you will always get like this hetero couple going through a story, which I really like, with all the ups and all the downs. So that's really cool. Do they always depict the classic Rider-Waite-Smith meanings per se? No, definitely not. But they do look really cool. And then the aces are also kind of in that stained glass style, but they look so impressive because they don't have any wording on them. So this is the Ace of Cups, this is the Ace of Pentacles, which I think is stunning. I think it's really good. The Ace of Swords is kind of basic, but the color scheme that was chosen is really good. And then we get the Ace of Wands. So that's really special. Let's see some more choice majors. I really like this Chariot a lot. I think it's really dope. It all looks very 80s He-Man Masters of the Universe-esque, like this thong-wearing Judgment card, which I adore. This is very often considered a gay deck or a homoerotic deck because there is so much male nudity. But Matt Myers, in an interview with Vix, New Age Hipster 333, actually said that he just wanted it to be equal. As much male nudity as female nudity. And it's not even nudity, but, you know, scantily clad or sexiness, I'd say. And he wanted it to be equal. I love this magician. Look at that. Is that focusing even? It should be. Whatever. Like I said, this is not necessarily a flip through. This is more of a show and tell. Why is it not focusing on... Maybe I should do the beauty guru thing. Well, you know, you get the gist, right? So this is a really dope deck. Even for the court cards, it kind of follows the male and the female from the story kind of evolving. Okay, so this is interesting. I just went by the... I'm going to show you an example because this is fun. Let's see if I can find more from the Suit of Staves, because that's actually interesting. Staves. Suit of Staves, Suit of Staves. I'm such a tarot nerd. Suit of Staves. Of course, all the cards from the Suit of Staves are going to be in the complete back of the whole deck. Like, you know, is always the case when you do something like this. Queen. Where's the Page of Staves? Come on now. Page, Knight, King. King of Staves. Come on. Yeah, I got it. Okay. So this is what the couple of staves looks like. Yeah? Do you guys understand? And then we get that same guy, but then as a child, as a page. Him a little bit older as the knight. Then we get the girl for the queen. And then we get him again for the king. So that's, but slightly older, you know? So it's really cool to kind of see that progression. They all look very Dynasty, very Dallas, very 80s soap opera. Late 80s, early 90s even, totally getting Santa Barbara vibes from some of these cards as well. I mean, how camp can you get? So I don't know, I just really love this. I love the King of Pentacles because he has that 80s looking perm, which I think is really dope. I just love all the cards in this deck. All the cards in this deck. They look so good. If you ever get a chance, if you ever find this and you manage to snag a copy of this for at an affordable price, please do it, because it's such a good deck. And I keep it in this lovely little tarot wrap because, you know, the box is pretty damaged on one side and I don't want to damage it further. So that's definitely one of my favorite decks overall, but also favorite indie deck. The next one is really cool, and I recently had the chance to buy another copy at a way cheaper price than what I paid for this version, and I was too late. But then again, I already have it, so what reason would I have to buy another version of it? I don't like doing shit like that. I may be very bad at it. The Devatero is by Piatnik, which is a pretty famous playing card printing company. This deck is thick, y'all. Look, this is at least 1.5 to 2 inches thick, which is a lot in my opinion. Partly because it has an extra suit. Oh, all of these decks are all of these cards are topsy-turvy. Must have happened during the move. Okay, whatever. They even smell so vintage and so good. There's an extra suit in this deck, the suit of Triax. Did I sort of sort these by suits? Yes, I did. I didn't put them in order, but I did sort them by suit, which is interesting. Why would I have done that? Yeah, let me show you the extra suit really quick. So these are not in order, but the suit of Triax is kind of the fifth element, the spirit element, so to speak. So that's interesting. They're very pippish. Like I said, I love me some old school pip decks. So for the courts, you get the prince and a princess and a king and a queen. Oh no, you get the prince, you get the knight, you get the king and the queen. Let's see. The knight, and it has this very stylized 3-language titles at the top and the bottom, which I do like, and then you get all these images in this die-cut vignette. You get the Queen of Triax, which looks pretty dope. You get, this one's really cool. This suit is very zany. There is a book, but it's in French, and I can read French fine, but I will not get like the finesse of it. Oh, the princess? Yeah, look at that. Okay, so the knight is like the king. I haven't used this deck in a while. I'm probably going to use this deck tomorrow because it's so cool. So for the courts, you get princess, prince, queen, knight. So very Thoth-esque, right? The majors look really dope as well. Like, look at that. This is death. The Hanged Man. And I believe this deck is from which year? 86. So yeah, another 80s deck. So I do have a knack for 70s and 80s decks. The Moon, Justice, the Lovers, the Fool, the Sun, yeah, the Antar or Hierophant, which looks kind of shaman-esque, the Aeon. So this is definitely a Thoth-esque, type of deck. The Empress, and then you also get card number 22, which is that comes after the World, which is called the Separator. I don't really know how to use that in readings, but yeah, it's cool. It's really cool. It's very classic Thoth-esque deck. I wish we would get more interpretations of Thoth. So yeah, this is a really, oh, Temperance looks really cool too. So this is a really sweet little deck. The Devil's really cool as well. The backs are stunning. Once again, very simple back design where we get these really explosive fronts. We get these really muted, well, you know, they're stark, but they're very minimal backs. So yeah, this is a really, really cool little set. And I should read more with this because it's fun, and I have my deck so I can read with them, so I should. This is already a pretty long video, damn, but yeah, this was me doing a catch-up and also talking about cool vintage decks. My latest addition to my collection is, ooh, the box is almost giving out, y'all. It's the Jaeger Tarot of Meditation. My Instagram buddy Travis Black uses this a lot. He showed me, I asked him at one point, what's your favorite tarot card? And he said, it's the moon from the Jaeger Tarot. And I was like, what? And when I saw it, I understood immediately. Let me find it really quickly because this is dope as hell. Yeah, I found it already. Okay, cool. The moon. This is another deck from the 80s, I think. Let me see really quickly. What year is this from? 75, so it's from the 70s. Look, the moon. We get these two guys, we get lots of nudity. You're probably wondering, why is the image so vague? That's just the print quality. And you know, back in the 70s, they didn't have this like high definition printing that we have going on right now, but it's really stunning. There's a lot of like attention to, there's a lot of nudity in this, but it's all very, very stylized. It's very gorgeous. And yes, it is a bit body beautiful, but it's really charming. It's a really charming 70s deck that I really like. It's so quintessentially 70s, you know, all the colors that were chosen. It's absolutely stunning. Temperance, I adore. I think that's really cool. And also the Lovers, I think is a really dope. So yeah, there's a lot going on in here. The minors are a bit basic. We do get really gorgeous quartz. I'm not going to be showing them all. Yeah, once again with lots of nudity, lots of body. It's very body beautiful, and I don't really care about that. I know a lot of people get very worked up about that. I actually like it, and I am allowed to like what I like. The minors are a bit boring for some maybe, but like I said, I love a good pip. I love a good pip arrangement, and I believe the arrangement of the pips in this particular set to be quite enthralling and entertaining. So yeah, I do happen to love these pips. The aces are a bit more decorated, so there's that. I'm not going to go through all these cards, but it's absolutely a stunning set. And once again, so we've seen the fronts, right? Then we have the backs. Stunning. I love backs like this. I think it's just so cool. What's also very handy, if you're very much into, am I lying? No, I'm not lying completely. So, especially since I read very elementally and numerologically, this is a handy deck for me because, you know, all the cups will have this blue background. All the wands will have this this purplish background. All the well, purplish, it's kind of like wine red. All the swords will have this dark bluish background, like airy looking, and all the coins have this very earthy red. So that's handy for me, though. Things like that, when we talk about usability for me personally, that's something that I look for in a deck. So those were all my vintage decks that I own right now. How about yours? I showed you mine, now you can show me yours. So if you do a VR, please add me and use the hashtag #myvintagetarotdecks. Love y'all. Bye-bye.